I was in porn when I was 20. I'm a straight male. I worked a crappy job as a security guard at a gated community. I was asked to pull a few extra hours at a certain house having a party. It was a cover for a porn shoot. It was 1996, so pre-internet. I had not seen much porn. I got to meet some of the people, but I basically just did my job. Keep an eye out, make sure no one tried to crash the set. Evidently my predecessors got all porn obsessed and harassed the stars. I was liked because I minded my own business. I peaked, but I mostly did my job. That got the director's attention. When he met me, though, his praise of my job changed to outright flattery. I was 20. Looked about 14 under the right conditions, clean-shaven, and in right clothes. He asked if I did acting. Told me if I was willing to give it a try he'd pay me $1,000 per day. I made $200 per week at my current job. He sweet-talked me, $1,000 to have sex with a beautiful woman. I had only had sex with 2 girls at that point, and I told him that. He seemed happy to know I was fresh. I showed up at another random house. It wasn't the director I met before, it was a woman. I was treated well, but it wasn't what I expected. My co-star was hot, but she was also nearly my mom's age. It was an incest fantasy film. I did it. I felt sick after and just wanted to leave. Then they paid me $1,500, not $1,000, and told me to come back the next day. I went back to the house for 3 more days at the same rate. The other days were brother or sister fantasy and more mom. Son, it got easy. I got hooked. I left and was excited. I thought it was cool. Loved the money. The sex was cool, kind of like the cameras. Didn't really like directing, but being 20 and paid to have sex? After that first 4 days, I didn't get a call for almost a month. I called the guy who got me the first gig. I guess he was my agent. He said he didn't have any more work like that, but if I was willing to try something else, he could get me some work. I said I'd try anything. I should have clarified that. He got me a job. A 1-day shoot on the other side of the state. He said they were eager to work with me. So I drove over there. The experience was very different. They explained it to me, and were shocked my agent let me drive across state without telling me it was gay porn. I was about to drive back home when the guy asked what it would take to get me to try it. I said $5,000. He asked $2,500. We settled on $3,000, and I got a little drunk, then got fucked in the ass by, luckily, a very gentle but very large guy. While I'm straight and not at all attracted to men, I did enjoy it. I didn't even mind sucking him off. Once the camera was rolling, it was almost like it wasn't really me. I felt like I was behind the camera with everyone else. I drove home $3,000 richer, with a very sore asshole. After that, I had work almost every weekend for the next year and a half. I finally stopped when I met a girl, and figured she would never love a guy who fucked more guys than she had. I've never told my wife. I was her second, and I have no idea how many people I've slept with, on screen and off. Next month is our 18th anniversary. Relevant comments. As long as you aren't traumatized by your experiences, don't let it affect your current life. I guess it's just a pretty crazy thing that happened to you when you were young. You should absolutely not tell your wife a damn thing. She may love you enough to be okay with it, eventually, but anyone with half a soul would be crushed to find out the person they have been married to for the better part of 2 decades lived an entire life they never knew. From OP. Almost all my money went to paying off school. There wasn't a lot of extra money. I was doing it for a purpose, to pay for college. My wife thought it was all coming from a weekend job at Disney World and my college fund, which mysteriously dried up when I stopped doing porn. More about the money. I think that was the teaser. After I started asking for work, the rate went down. Point of mentioning that was to state how alluring the money was. When I started, you're a broke college student working for $5 an hour, and someone says, will you have sex with a dude for $3,000? It don't take long to do the math. Once they got me though, depending on what I did I would get $200, $500 per day. Never worked for less than $200, $400 if it involved a guy.